What's up, everybody? First live stream. It's really dark in here. That's not much better. I should have did this in there, but oh well. So how's everybody doing tonight? We're starting our first live stream here on YouTube. I am playing Fortnite in the background, if y'all are wondering. So we'll see who we get in. We'll see who comes through. We're going to be talking. Uh, we'll be talking Clash of Clans. We'll be talking Fortnite, PUBG. What else are we going to talk? Sports. I don't know if any of y'all watched our video yesterday, but we went over some over and unders on NFL teams, and so we did that, and it was we had fun. That was pretty fun. So we'll see who comes in, see if anybody hops in. If you got any questions, go ahead and ask. I'll answer them. Whatever. It's just us. So whatever you want, just give me a type something in the comments. Leave a thumbs up if you like the video. My humble abode. So we'll see what's going on. Guess we'll start out with some fantasy. We're going through some fantasy football. About to start. Somebody had asked me the other day what some big names were going to come up. Maybe not some well-known guys, but later in drafts and people that they could catch as a sleeper or a fill-in pick. And there's a couple of things you could do in every spot, but in your most of your leagues, you're going to want to go, running back, wide receiver, and quarterback early. Tight ends outside of if you're going to grab Jimmy Graham or Rob Gronkowski, I think you should grab them earlier, as in top wide receiver early, but not if you got Jimmy Graham or Gronkowski going up against like Antonio Brown. I'm taking Antonio Brown, obviously, or Todd Gurley. Anybody like that, I'm taking. I think you have big value in uh, early in running backs that catch the ball a lot. Zeke, if he cannot get suspended, will be. Yeah, I mean that's kind of a stupid statement. Always a good pick, but sleeper running backs. I'm thinking that Nick Chubb. I think Nick Chubb is honestly going to be a lot better than what people are giving him credit for and people are thinking. And I think he's going to carry the load in that backfield. I mean, Carlos Hyde's going to get you some, some still some fantasy points from him, but I'm not going to say it's going to be a whole lot. And I also think that with the Chubb's younger and going to have better legs, I believe. And I think he's going to get a lot of the red zone touches because he's big, and Carlos Hyde's big, but Nick Chubb's kind of a different big. And I think that's really going to help his fantasy stock this year. So Nick Chubb's one of I'm rating him probably as a top 15 to 20 running back, which in your deeper leagues is, you're going to want to go get earlier than in, your 8-person leagues or your and I'm not saying he's like I got to start him every week like in your daily fantasy where you're trying to win money, but I think in good matchups he could definitely be a a very quality back, especially off your bench. I'm not saying he's for sure a 1 or 2, but I would definitely take him over most of the backs in the league. Any I I don't know. I don't think he's like I said. I don't think he's top 5 running back. I don't think you're taking him early in drafts, but a quality, change of pace, or you got someone on bye, one of your big running backs on bye, you throw him in there, and you feel pretty good about yourself, knowing that he's who who your backup is. So I like him. few people I hate. All the Dallas receivers. I don't want to draft any of them. I don't think any. Maybe Cole Beasley just because of the parity him and Dak have. But outside of them, I don't know that I would draft any of the Cowboy receivers. Uh, I'm uh, but there are a couple of guys that have had some. No, I wouldn't say bad years, but have had some down years, and honestly, I'm thinking are going to bounce back, like Emmanuel Sanders. Yeah, like I said, I'm a Broncos fan. If any of y'all watched my stream or my video from yesterday, I'm obviously a Broncos fan, and this is actually not a. Uh, I'm a homer pick. This is actually I have actually sat down and I have obviously watched a bunch of Broncos preseason games, and him and Case Keenum have a very very good relationship. Uh, and you can tell uh, pretty early already through the preseason, like they are, hooking up, and it looks like the Broncos are actually going to use him to run the ball some this year too. So that that always adds to fantasy value. You're getting touches, getting yards, and so in most standard leagues, I'm liking. And I think, and long term, I've always been a more of a Demarius Thomas fan in fantasy and in real life. I just think he's the better receiver, but he's kind of been dinged up this offseason. He missed the whole preseason game or this whole preseason, and it's really let Emmanuel Sanders and Case Keenum have a really good chemistry together. So I would definitely look at Emmanuel Sanders earlier in drafts than what you're going to see him projected, because a lot of those projections are just going off of the past couple of years, and the Broncos offense the past couple of years has been god awful. So, yeah, I think you're going to want to stay away from most Denver's running backs. But as far as pass catchers, I think that Emmanuel Sanders is going to be a higher end wide receiver one than what most people are thinking in the league. Because I think him and that connection him and Keenum have had, and he looks good through the preseason so far. He's looked really good. So I would definitely look into that. I don't think he's on most players' radars as a top wide receiver. You could get him later in a draft, and it help you out because you don't have to spend an early pick on a wide receiver one, or even a wide receiver two. I'm not saying he's going to be a for sure wide receiver one all year, but a very very solid wide receiver two for sure. And I think he's honestly going to end up in there. I think he's going to go back to the year that, like, when he had Peyton Manning and had a guy that could throw the ball to him. And Emmanuel Sanders is electric. He likes to catch the ball and move. And like I said, like today in their preseason game I was watching, that's why the stream is so late. They handed him the ball on a reverse, and he just kind of made some moves and ended up in the end zone. So, I mean, if he can do that and you can get a touchdown, he catches 7 or 8 touchdowns and runs for 2. I mean, that's a very legit season. And, outside of Demarius Thomas, they don't really have another real big receiver. Sutton's going to be pretty good, but I don't know that he's going to be real good this year. So, so that could really help his stock too, is that those two are going to catch most of the balls for the Broncos this year. So I think that's a good thing. Let's talk a little basketball. LeBron signed with the Lakers. Obviously, the big move in free agency this summer. Outside of that, there's nothing. Nothing real huge that went on. Paul George staying with the Thunder was big. If you're a Thunder fan like I am, or that was pretty big in the national media though too, because he kind of everybody uh, everybody kind of thought that it was Magic. Oh, Magic's going to woo him over. Magic's a big name. They pretty much have LeBron locked up, and Paul George just decided, hey, I like to play with Russell Westbrook. I like the guys I have here. Do I think they're a championship contender? I don't. I'm not saying they're going to compete with the Golden States and Houston's of the league, but I think they're in a pretty clear cut, second tier in the West. Houston's going to be okay. I think Houston got worse than they were last year myself, uh, partially from losing Ariza and then part from gaining Carmelo. I don't know that Carmelo fits them, and I think he's going to be toxic for their locker room. And I think that, midway through the season, that he could end up bought out because people just don't, you know, he just kind of doesn't mesh well with anybody. And so I think that could happen and could really hurt them. But, I mean, the West, outside of the top 4 or 5 teams, it kind of, up in the air a little bit. Nobody really outside of those top, like I said, 2 or 3 teams is really that great. So you go and in my mind, Golden State's obviously head and shoulders above everybody in the league. And then you get Houston, who I think is still the second best team in the league. And just because I say I think they're going to take a step back doesn't mean I think they are going to, all of a sudden lose 50 games. Like I still think they're the second best team. I don't think they're a 65-win team they were last year. And so, where do you decide is a step back? I think them being the 2 seed is still very logical, but I also could see the Thunder being the 2 seed. Another year with Paul George and Russ putting it together. Another year with they got Dennis Schroeder, who I think is a very underrated pickup. I'm not saying Dennis Schroeder is a starting 2 guard in the league, but as a 6 man that the Thunder haven't had in forever since Harden, honestly. I mean, he's a good option. So, I think that the Thunder got better with that signing. I think they got better after letting Melo walk. How Sam Presti swung that trade with the Hawks, I don't know, because I just don't think that I think the Hawks are just trying to sell everything. And I think Bazemore eventually will be in Houston, which is kind of one of those weird takes that everybody's like, where are you getting that from? Houston needs wing help. Houston needs a good defender on the wing, and they need someone to go and, replace Trevor Ariza's defensive production. And Melo can somewhat replace his offensive production, but they're going to have someone to replace that defensive production. So you get they go out and get Bazemore to take care of the defensive side, Melo to take care of the offense they're losing, and then they're maybe like the same team, but I'm not. So I think those 2 are the best 2 teams with the Thunder right there, because who's got a better 1-2 punch than Paul George and Russell Westbrook, or Russell Westbrook and Paul George, however you see them. I personally think I'm a Paul George fan. I loved the move when they got him last summer. I honestly thought it was a rental too. I thought it was 1 year and he was going to the Lakers. I'm way more than happy to see that he decided to stay. I think I don't know that Russ would be doing the work he's been doing this offseason if Paul George wouldn't have stayed. I think he is finally seeing that he needs to work on his game, and that he's got another superstar. So if they could put together one more superstar with him, and after this year, big free agents next summer, then they could make a run at a title, because Golden State's not going to be this good forever. So and Russ and Paul George are still both pretty young. 30 is pretty young in the NBA for stars, and so I think they're finally figuring out that they can maybe run together and put together some kind of winning culture there in Oklahoma City and rekindle what happened or when they went to the finals a couple years. And so I like that. I like the Thunder, and then you kind of get a drop off. Everybody's big on LeBron and the Lakers and this and that and how good they're going to be. I just don't think they're going to be that good, honestly. I just and you got to remember what I mean by not that good. They're going to win 45 games at least. Like LeBron's worth 45 games with that roster. They won 34 last year, I think. So he's worth 11 wins, 11 to 12. But is he worth, I've seen people saying they're going to win 52 games in the West. I don't think so. The West is pretty intriguing. You got some bottom of the bottom, but I don't really think that the West is, the top six teams are really good, I think. And then you got a little middle tier that's only, two or three teams. And then the bottom's pretty bad. But I think, like, would anybody really be surprised if the Mavericks won 42 games this year? Would you? Like, that roster's not bad. Like, you got Harrison Barnes, you got Doncic, who I think is going to win Rookie of the Year by, like, leaps and bounds. I think it's going to be a pretty easy Rookie of the Year win for him. Then they signed DJ, even if it was 5 years after they really wanted him. Ooh, no. Oh, my dad. So they could win 42 games, like that's not a cakewalk. The Clippers are going to be bad because, but who else is in that division? They're going to face Golden State 4 times. And that's not easy. And that's not, that's probably 1 and 3 for the Lakers. So I just don't think that the Lakers are as good as most people are kind of hyping them up to be. And so I think that the Lakers could be right there in the 4th position, but also they could be, they could drop down lower. I'm trying to think of Portland. I think takes a way step back. They were the 3 seed last year. Utah is who I'm forgetting. And I had to pull out my phone. I was going to look at it, but Utah is very, 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 very interesting, as they didn't add anybody this offseason. They didn't lose anybody either, and they get Rudy Gobert back. And when Rudy Gobert is in the lineup for the Utah Jazz, they're pretty salty. That defense is legit with him there. And you add in a couple of people, like some scoring back from Donovan Mitchell, and you get Favors back, so they're going to be interesting, and I think they're a 48 to 50 win team. And so you got LeBron and a bunch of young kids, and then a bunch of guys that can't shoot. LeBron isn't going to play with guys that can't shoot. Like that's been his knock since he's came into the league, and especially in the later stage of his career. If you don't shoot, you're gone. Like, that's what happens. Lance Stevenson don't shoot the 3 well. Rondo is the worst shooter in the league. He's a great point guard. I love Rondo. I was a Rondo fan forever, but he doesn't shoot the 3 well. JaVale McGee, like, what kind of signing is that? Like, did you go I know that ain't what they pitched to LeBron when he decided to sign. Oh, yeah, we're going to throw away this first year with all these nice signings, and then we're going to gear up for your second year, which, I mean, they're going to next year. They're going to hit a big free agent next year. They're going to get Kawhi, or they're going to get someone big. But is LeBron ready to wait a year? Like, now, the reason I think the Lakers could be the 2 to 4 seed is because if they do that they could trade for Kawhi at the trade deadline if Toronto is scared they're going to lose Kawhi. So if Kawhi's going to leave and he's telling Toronto, I'm going to leave, and, they're saying right now, oh, we'll have an open mind about it. Well, what does that really mean? Does that mean we'll just consider it for 2 games and then we'll get the 1 seed in the East, and then he's like, yeah, I still don't want to be here because we still have no chance of beating Golden State? Maybe that's what that means. And then, so maybe they trade him in February at the trade deadline. And so you could see that happening. But as of right now, I just think they're somewhere in the 46 to 49 win range. I don't think they're better than the Thunder. I think the Thunder are going to win 50 plus games. I think the Jazz could win 50 plus games, and I think you already have two 50 plus wins. Obviously, in Golden State, who's probably going to win 58 to 60, and Houston, who's going to win 55 to 60. So I think you're going to have four teams possibly ahead of the Lakers, and honestly, I think it could be worse than that. I don't know, how happy is LeBron going to be playing with these young kids? How much can these young kids help? And what is the ball-centric Lonzo Ball and the ball-centric LeBron James, how do they mesh? Like, Luke Walton's got a big, 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 big challenge ahead of him for this next year. And so I just don't see it as everybody else does, but I don't know. But I think the NBA is going to be very interesting this year. I think the top four in the East and the top four in the West, five if you want to throw in LeBron and the Lakers, are crazy good, like for their respect. I think the West is better top heavy than the East, but I think the East is more comparable than everybody's giving it, given credit for, because okay, so I give you Toronto won 60 games last year. I get they get a new coach, but this guy is supposedly like the biggest name on coaching blocks. And then they get Kawhi to replace DeMar DeRozan. Plus they have Danny Green, who is better than who did they trade with him? Jacob Poeltl, the guy from Utah. He's better than him. So you get two good shooters and the best defender in the league. And they won 60 games last year. Like, they got better. As long as they don't have, big locker room issues with DeMar getting traded out and then Kawhi coming in and him actually not giving it a chance, and they come in and they can tell that it's just awful, then, okay, that maybe. I'll give you that maybe. But they're pretty good. Boston, obviously, is going to be really good. That starting five, if you think of that right now, and I listen to a bunch of sports radio and sports talk, obviously, and I listen to, I try to educate myself on everything, as in sports-wise and just in life in general. Like, I'm kind of a nerd, play a bunch of video games. I think I'm very smart. I don't know if I really am or not, but I try to think I'm pretty smart. So, I try to educate myself where I can. And when you look at what does Golden State do good? They play small good. Who can match Golden State small? The Lakers. And one day not the Lakers, the Celtics, sorry. One day I was sitting here listening to Colin Cowherd actually on his podcast that you can find on Apple Podcasts. Apple fan, obviously. Anyway, on that you and I was listening and I was like, he said something and he was like, I think the Boston Celtics are going to win the NBA title. And I was like, no way. Like if you had to bet, you're going to bet them against the Warriors. And then I stopped and looked at it and I'm like, okay, so what do the Warriors do good? The Hamptons 5 lineup. That's all you hear about, right? Hamptons 5 lineup. Well, who can put together a better small lineup to fight against that than the Celtics? So you put 6'10" Jason Tatum at the 5. Okay, so that's a pretty good small 5. Then you put or even Al Horford. Not Al Horford. No, yeah, it is Al Horford. So you put Al Horford at the 5. You put no, it is Jason Tatum. That's what I was saying. Okay, so Jason Tatum. So you got Jason Tatum at the 5. You have Jaylen Brown at the 4 or the 3. You have Kyrie obviously at the 1. And then you put Gordon Hayward at the 3 or the 4, whichever you don't play Jaylen Brown at. And then you throw in a fourth guy like Marcus Smart at the 2. And you're going to tell me that lineup can't play with the Warriors? Like that's 5 pretty legit players right there. And I was thinking, I was like, he's crazy for saying that they can compete with them until you actually think about it. And I'm like, that lineup can compete with them. That's a really good starting 5 right there. That's they can shoot, they can defend, they can run. They're young, I like that's a good starting 5 there. So that's a legit 5. You got Toronto, obviously, like I just said. You got the 76ers, who are going to be a year older, which means a year better. If anybody's seen any film on Ben Simmons playing pickup games this offseason, the dude's developed somewhat of a jump shot. And if he could hit threes consistently, that dude'd be hell to guard. You ain't guarding that dude if he could hit threes. I mean, because he's just a crazy slasher as it is, getting to the rim, and he's 6'10" and can handle the ball like a point guard. I mean, he's hard enough to defend as it is. You give him a 3 game, and he knocks down 2 threes. You fly out at him to try to stop that. He pump fakes and runs right by you and dunks it on your center. So they're going to be good. And then you get to the 4th team, and you kind of have a drop off after that. But those 3 teams are legit. And then, Cleveland's going to be awful. So they were a top seed. Like, they're going to fall. But, those top 3 teams, and I feel like I'm forgetting someone in the East that's going to be pretty good. But even just those 3 teams, like those 3 teams can keep up with what the 3 teams in the West are. And so I think the West is the better conference. And, yeah, I do think it is deeper. But, once you get in the East, you're like, the top 4 are really good, and you kind of fall off after that. But I like the East better than most people do. So we'll see about that. But it's going to be a good basketball season. I'm really interested in watching some of these teams, watching some of these rookies. Like I said, Luka Doncic, I think is going to be crazy good. I think he's going to come in and win Rookie of the Year pretty easily. And like I said, I think he's worth 4 or 5 wins for the Mavs. I think they're going to be pretty good. I mean, well, pretty good for their standards. I'm not going to say they're going to win the championship or anything, or even make the playoffs, but I think they're going to be right there fighting for, the 9th or 10th seed in the West, which in the West is pretty good considering they're in a rebuild and only got really one piece in that rebuild this year, which was Doncic. So, but I also can see where that hurts them, because then their draft picks next year are going to be worse. So, what do you do? But that's what happens. Stuff happens. It's okay. Nobody's really in here, so can't really answer questions. And I'm trying to come up with questions for myself, but that's not really working. So, this is going to be kind of my channel, sports and Clash of Clans. I will be streaming some Fortnite later through my PlayStation. I would have streamed while I was talking, but I don't have my stream box yet, so I can't. And I don't have my camera for my PlayStation yet, so I'm just using the camera through my laptop. So, but if I had my camera over there, I'd have just streamed the Fortnite, and we could have done this through the PlayStation. But anyway, so that's what I'm going to be doing. I play PUBG Mobile. If you want to know anything, my gamer tag, I play Xbox and PlayStation. I prefer the PlayStation because, like I said, I can stream through YouTube straight through it, and it's a lot easier to set up the stream through YouTube. I don't have to run it through my computer, and so I prefer PlayStation, but I play Xbox too. So whatever you play, if you want to add me, let me know. We can play something. I play PUBG Mobile. I play PUBG on the PlayStation and Xbox too, but I don't play very much because I don't have anybody that plays very much. I don't really much like to play by myself. But Clash of Clans, I'm in Mercs Legends right now, preparing for MLCW right now. I'm not going to be competing because we're not taking any 12s, and my 12 is honestly kind of behind, so I'm trying to catch it up. Been grinding heroes like crazy lately. I think like my first video on here, my queen was like level 22 or something, and she's all the way to 43 now. And that was less than 6 weeks ago. So that right around when the Town Hall 12 update came out. So maybe around 2 months now. But I've been grinding the king, got him up to like level 32. Got my 5-star Town Hall, Max Eagle, Max Infernos, Max Expos. I had a bad wall grind to go through, but I'm trying to get everything else up first. I'm just going to tell y'all now, I'm waiting for them walls. Them walls are going to just be. But I've been grinding this event, man. I have learned to love Loonion because it's just so cheap right now. Loons and haste spells are so cheap. I just kind of been pounding through those, and I've put my king. I put my queen down twice, my king down once, and my Grand Warden down twice since this event started up 3 days ago. I've been gymming like crazy because I've had all this loot, and I'm like, I want to get my heroes up. I got all my troops up that I use, so I don't really have any other, like I'm not, like eventually I'll max out all the troops, but I'm not like, I got to max out the troops right now. I'm trying to get that Grand Warden up. He was level 5. I think he's all the way up to 12 or 13 now. I have him upgrading right now, so we'll see about that. I do have a video coming out tomorrow or late tonight. I don't know when I'm going to release it. Will be a Clash video on the event, the Loons and Hastes, and just it's a couple of raids I had here, I don't know, in the last couple of days, I guess. And then I went in for a live attack and just showing you what I've been using, which is really just a spam attack because of my heroes have been down, like I said. So it's just been a spam Loonion, just spamming the balloons, spamming the minions behind them, and hope you get as much loot as possible. Pick a good corner to come in from where the Dark Elixir is and spam through. So but that'll be coming out here in the next couple of days. I am going to go back to daily uploads, or at least a daily live video like this. Hopefully we can get some subscribers. Hopefully we can get some people to turn on the notifications, get in here for the live streams, start pumping up some comments, trying to ask me about what I like, or just random questions, whatever you want to talk about, we can talk about it. Get in on the live stream. Maybe I can find someone to promote my videos for me. I thought some people were going to come through this video, but I guess not. Oh, well, it's whatever. I do this for fun. So 0 people in the stream the whole time, that's fine. I don't care. I'm doing this more for me than for anybody else. But y'all guys are awesome if y'all watch this video on the replay. Thank you. I doubt you'll get to this far if you do, but oh well. And thanks for everything. I mean, y'all came through, y'all watch. Like I said, I'm gonna start doing probably 2 live streams a week. They're gonna be Fridays and Sundays because my week schedule is just packed, man. I'm in nursing school, so shout out. Whoop, whoop. Gonna be moving to Vegas soon. Well, in like a year after I graduate nursing school, so I'll be out there. You'll see a bunch of betting tips, and like, don't yell at me if they suck. This is what I would bet. I like to believe I'm going to hit 60% of my games. Pro bettors look to hit 65%. If I can hit 55 to 60, I'll be pretty happy. But you'll be seeing that a lot. Like I said, I'm in nursing school, so my school schedule, and then I also work at Walmart in the pharmacy. I'm a pharmacy tech, so that takes up a lot of my time. But I'm going to start putting out videos daily. Just start the YouTube grind again. I mean, live videos. These are a lot easier for me. I kind of like the live videos, because you can just kind of pound it out in 30 minutes, and I don't have to do all the editing and screenshots and stuff like that. So it's kind of nice. But I'm going to put out some videos. Clash is kind of hard for me to stream live right now because, like I said, I don't have my stream box. But we'll see that. I'm also rebuilding my computer, so until then, I kind of have to be on this crappy laptop in this crappy room. But when I move to Vegas, I'm going to soundproof a studio for myself. Get some nice stuff on the wall. Become an actual content creator, do like daily things, have a job. And so I'll be doing that. I'll be back in school, but it'll be less school, and that'll be pretty fun. But like I said, so if you like the comment, slap a thumbs up on it. If you have any suggestions, anything that would make you follow outside of giving you money because I'm a broke college student, I'm down for it. But anything else, I'll do it. Like I said, I have like 11 subscribers. You're the OGs if you're watching this. Like my first 25 are gonna be the OGs. Like that's y'all. So right now we're just trying to push up in followers, push up in views, and gonna start content daily. Whatever y'all like is what I'll make, and whatever y'all don't like is what I'll stop making. So hopefully we can get some good content put out there, a good fan base. My name is T-Rex because my arms are short. If anybody was wondering, yeah, I do have a giant head too. So I recently got divorced about 2-3 months ago. Finalized, like all went through and stuff, and so Echo Gaming, actually, go check his channel out if y'all haven't. If you're YouTube, you like YouTube, you like to watch stuff. If you're a Clash fan or a PUBG fan, he comes through with some really good content for both. Go check him out. But he kind of helped me, pulled me back from some bad depression I was in from all that going on. And so, I'm just pushing through right now, and I like YouTube. So we're going to make some videos, and I just want to get a nice little base going on. And, base followers and get some people in the chat, forcing, pushing stuff through and helping these live streams be a little better than this one, because this one kind of sucked because I'm not good at making my own questions. So hopefully y'all come through for the next one. Said it'll be 2 days a week, probably Friday nights and Sunday nights, because Friday nights I'll give you your betting tips. Sunday nights I'll tell you how I did and go over the betting tips for the week. And so that's pretty much what I'm trying to do. And then, try to put out as much video content as I can all the other nights of the week. So 7 nights a week, I'm going to try and put up a video for y'all guys. Really start the grind. The YouTube grind is, I'm not trying to do this for money. I'm just doing it for fun. But it'd be nice to get some followers. You don't have to donate or nothing. I just want, somebody to talk to. So the chat's dead. So if y'all are watching this on the replay, I just keep looking over at the chat like someone's going to hop in and say hi. But anyway, so big head, short arms. I'm 6'6". I played baseball in college, so it was pretty fun. Athletic guy my whole life. I'm fat now, but that's okay. Whatever. Get lazy, stop working out. I need to start working out again. I'm going to eventually, but that's what everybody says too until it happens. So when it happens, I'll let y'all know that I started working out again, but it hasn't happened yet. So, but if y'all watch this replay, thank y'all. Nobody came through in the live stream, so that was not optimal, but it's a great video. I had fun. If you watch it, thank you. Like it if you like it. Subscribe if you want to. Turn on the notifications. Check out my content. Thanks, guys. Y'all have a good night.